hit by a natural disaster.
It was very devastating. It's very shocking to lose a house.
Can their luxurious new home survive a perilous journey across land?
It still gets very, very intimidating.
And through busy waterways?
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Hauling this harbor house will be nothing short of one massive move. The city of Vancouver, a sprawling coastal metropolis. Doug McClelland and Tony Tucker have lived here since 1987, but not on land. They were the proud owners of a custom-built floating home in Cole Harbor and would never consider swapping it for the life of a landlubber.
It's a great lifestyle. It's amazing. We're right downtown in the middle of Vancouver, and when you come home at night, it's like living in the country.
But while away on a Christmas vacation in 2009, disaster struck.
There was a monumental amount of snow. It shut the whole city down. And so much snow built up on our roof that it got top heavy. And eventually it tipped over on its side and it crashed down on top of a sailboat that was sitting beside it.
It was very devastating. It's very shocking to lose a house.
With their worldly possessions submerged, Doug and Tony were left to pick up the pieces.
I don't think either of us either considered for a moment that we would do anything else except to rebuild.
And rebuild they did. Doug and Tony's new aquatic mansion will be even bigger and more luxurious than their old home.
See, it's still a bit of a construction site.
It will have a fitted kitchen, an office, 2 bathrooms, and huge floor-to-ceiling windows.
So this will be the back of the house. It faces out onto the open water. You'll see the mountains, you'll see the boats. It'll just be a spectacular view.
But first you have to get it to your marina, Doug, and it can't be moved over land. Doug and Tony's house is being built in a special boatyard on the Great Fraser River. When completed, it needs to be moved 35 miles to reach their mooring in Cole Harbor Key in Vancouver. While their house is designed to float, no one knows if it will survive being towed on an extremely hazardous journey down one of the busiest and most turbulent waterways in the world. To add more pressure, construction and harbor mooring costs are racking up.
We're pouring so much money down the drain, and so we need to get into this location and get back to a normal sort of person's life of paying only one rent.
Building the house will set Doug and Tony back $250,000. Moving it and the moorings a further $75,000, bringing the grand total of this daring project to $325,000.
Visa, MasterCard, American Express, they'll love me. I just hope I can pay it off in the end.
To make sure it's money well spent, Doug has hired one of the world's top naval architects to design their house. Alfonso Sotres has built oil rigs and ships, but a floating home throws up a whole new set of challenges.
This particular one, slightly floating, is going to be quite interesting. We'll have to counterbalance it quite carefully.
To make the floating foundations for the house, the crew has encased giant blocks of styrofoam with waterproof concrete. Pretty much nothing can sink them. But things aren't that simple for Doug and Tony's new house. It's so tall, it's top-heavy. So Alfonso has made the foundations much heavier and deeper to lower the building's center of gravity. The extra concrete should keep the house rock steady. After months of intensive construction, the crew must weigh the house to check it sits level in the water.
We're going to measure the weight of the house and the location of the center of gravity.
The house has been designed with a beautiful viewing deck, but there's a complication. It makes the back end lighter than the front. One strong wave, and this house could end up like the Titanic. So the team must lift the house onto special jacks to work out how its weight is distributed. They can then balance the house out by moving furniture inside. they can add extra ballast where it's most needed. The crew will lift the house onto jacks with a special crane, usually used to raise ships.
I have never seen a house lifted by a big boat lifter before, so I'm sort of paranoid that the house is so heavy. Sounds sort of dangerous to me.
With the lifting straps under Doug and Tony's $325,000 investment, crane operator Ken can prepare for liftoff.
It still gets very, very intimidating. When you pull back on the controls, you see the house has gone past you and the hull's coming up and you're looking, you're going, oh boy.
The bravest member of the crew has to reach under to position the jacks.
We can get you to just slowly go down on ones and twos and take the tension off of them.
Now, the moment of truth.
This is our measured, and it comes, I would say, pretty close.
You had me scared for a minute.
Yeah. Their calculations were perfect. With additional ballast, the house will balance evenly. The next test, will it float? New look floating home is finally ready to launch. Today, the team must carefully lower the 110-ton luxurious home into the fast-flowing and unpredictable Fraser River.
Somehow, the situation lends itself to getting more and more nervous.
Homeowners Doug and Tony have come to the shipyard to watch. They're anxious.
The most challenging and most nerve-wracking part of the whole thing is the move. We have no control there, really. I mean, once it sets sail, we just have to cross our fingers and hope that it arrives at its destination safely.
To launch boats, the yard has an enormous mobile crane, but it's not built to lift large homes. Its awkward shape could cause the house to swing out of control. To stabilize the house, crane operator Ken must add more lifting straps. It's vital Ken raises the house slowly to keep it level and stop it from swaying.
This is more like a security blanket for me because I don't want anything to go haywire on us. Anything can go wrong. I mean, there's always a possibility of a strap breaking.
Ken keeps a close eye on the house as he lines it up with the water's edge. One wrong tug of the joystick now, and this home could end up with a view of the riverbed.
We've certainly paid all the engineers and architects enough. If the marine engineer hasn't got it floating right, I want my money back.
That's getting pretty close to 6 inches.
Ken slowly lines the house up over the water. And touchdown.
Well, I'm quite happy to see that's floating very level. That was the biggest concern.
With the home floating nicely, the team prepare it for the biggest, wettest trip it'll ever make.
It could be a happy ending tomorrow.
Happy ending. At long last, my God, wouldn't it be wonderful?
And the man chosen to guide it to Doug and Tony's mooring is Tug Captain Ryan Hansen. He's worried about today's conditions.
There was a bit of a swell coming across, but it's supposed to be dropping off. It wasn't supposed to be there in the first place, though. We'll see once we get out there. Okay, we're ready to go.
Ryan eases her out slowly as they embark on the most dangerous part of the whole move. The further down the river they travel, the tighter it becomes. Ryan must be extra careful steering the house past log booms strewn across the river.
Oh, the log booms closing in on this little section of the river here. So just have to make sure we got room to get past.
Thousands of logs line these banks. Every year, boats hit them, causing serious damage.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't roll. Just go out. There's a log boom right in the middle of the channel, and it was kind of closing in on the other, towards the other log booms, kind of getting sideways in the channel. So we only had a little skinny patch to get through. It was close. It was tight.
That was a close call. But Ryan has yet to hit the open ocean, where things can quickly take a turn for the worst.
The potential is for wind and roughness, and we don't have any control there. This is the dangerous part.
Tug Captain Ryan has safely guided the home through the riverways. Now he faces the dangers of the ocean.
On the whole coast, I've probably seen some of the biggest, roughest waves. And I've had water right over the whole boat.
The house is now heading north, up the Strait of Georgia. This is open ocean, and a westerly wind is picking up, causing a huge swell. Its full force is hitting the side of the house, pushing it off course and threatening to swamp it. To avoid the effects of the wind and the waves, Ryan must change course and sail into the swell. To get back to Vancouver, he'll have to tack backwards and forwards all the way up the strait. This course will take more time, but should keep the home's beautiful interiors intact.
This is going to be the most challenging part of the trip. We have to get around the corner with the swells that are out here from this morning. It's as rough as we want it.
If these waves get any bigger, they could breach the walls and flood the house. Floating homes aren't built to withstand ferocious sea journeys and need protecting from rogue waves. So Ryan starts his zigzagging maneuver to beat the swell.
Made the turn now, so it should improve, but I don't like seeing the water getting down near the bottom there.
From here to Cole Harbor, Ryan needs to constantly monitor the conditions. If they get worse, he may have to turn back. And it isn't long before they find themselves up against yet another obstacle, a 364-foot high one.
It's a very, very tight shipping lane coming in under the Lionsgate Bridge, and so there's a bit of nerves on those issues.
We have to trust in the tugboat captain's skills.
Ryan calls control to make sure he's safe to head under the bridge and into the path of fast-flowing currents.
Yeah, we're probably 10 minutes away from the bridge, just upstream here. We're staying on the north side of the channel.
The house is heading into the narrow confines near the Lionsgate Bridge, but the tide draining out of the inlet makes the currents here extremely choppy. Pick the wrong course now, and the currents could throw the house onto the rocky shoreline. So Ryan needs to speed ahead and plot a straight route. Once safely through the narrows, the tug must slow down so they have complete control of the house for the final stretch. It's a critical time for Doug and Tony's floating home.
All the water from Vancouver Harbor and Burrard Inlet has to drain in and out of there. The currents can run quite strong, so you have to be aware of what the current's doing.
Ryan needs to fight any oncoming currents to avoid being thrown onto the rocky banks or into the wake of oncoming tankers.
I don't want it any rougher.
The floating home makes it safely through the currents. Now, the end is in sight. Cole Harbor.
There's a whole bunch of very expensive boats all jammed in there. That's challenging too because you have very small, tight spaces. So that's going to require a lot of finesse.
Ryan leaves the tug to the second in command and jets off to scout out the harbor. Doug is there to greet him and point out the obstacles.
So we're going just on this side of the White House here.
So the porch goes in,
the
porch is out here, so the head end goes in there.
Ryan sees that there are only millimeters to spare.
There's just so many other boats in there and everything's so tight. It can move pretty fast in the wind, and then if it bumps into a boat or a yacht or something.
It gets tense as Ryan and the marina crew try to steer the 110-ton home through the narrow waterway to its mooring. The maneuver is tight, but the home sails in without a scratch.
Good, everything looks perfect. We're there, it's tied up. Feels good.
It didn't sink. It got all the way across the bay down the river, and it felt us.
I feel pretty excited. It feels like the end of a long journey.
Finally, they can crack open the champagne to celebrate many more years living on the high seas. One month later, and Doug and Tony are already enjoying their new floating home.
It's a fabulous view.
With elegant furnishings and sumptuous sea views, they now have a home to turn their nautical neighbors green.
One of the great kind of fun things is we got to buy all new furniture, everything from art to dishes to blankets and towels. And so it's like a whole new home.
But there's still work to be done.
We're still working to get the house perfectly level, which it isn't quite yet. And there's a few other odds and ends to reach perfection.
Adding extra ballast to the front of the structure and rearranging some furniture should see it floating level in no time. It's only now that Doug and Tony fully appreciate all that they've been through.
We lost our home, we lost everything, and to come back and to get it back, what a joy.
It was an emotional experience because you start out with this tragedy and then you end up working your way through this process.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. With the help of so many people, we end up with a fabulous house that's the house of our dreams.
Thanks to the architects, crane operators, and tug crew, their floating house is now a harbor home. A family on a mission to build and move their dream riverside mansion.
I don't like all the cracking and banging that's going on.
Will the house survive a treacherous tilt into the fast-flowing water?
We could have a catastrophic failure where the building could fall off the dome.
And a dangerous tug downriver?
It's like throwing a big block of concrete.
Hauling this floating fortress will be nothing short of one massive move. The Fraser River, the largest in British Columbia. It's along this beautiful but busy waterway that Graham and Sharon Harkley and their two kids, Grace and Evan, dream of living. They hope to escape their current home in Ladner, which is landlocked.
I've looked forward to being on the river for years. I've always dreamed of being able to jump in my boat and zoom off whenever I wanted to, and we can go kayaking and fishing and stuff like that together right out our front door.
I want to move to the river because I love it there, and with all the wildlife, there's a whole lot more than here. So I think it'll be fun.
But the family don't want to live along the river. They want to live on it, in a unique house that floats. And they found a perfect location just a mile from their current home.
We'll have this magnificent view that we're so looking forward to seeing. And it also has a wonderful dock that we can have friends and family over just to enjoy some summer evenings.
The house will be built on land at IMF, a company specializing in floating structures. If anyone has the skill to build and launch a huge aquatic house, it's Matt Tobias's crew.
A standard single-family home is about 100 tons, and we're uniquely situated here in Vancouver that we can actually pick up very large items, so we can build bigger structures.
The construction site sits along the Fraser River. Once assembled, Graham and Sharon's floating mansion must embark on a treacherous 7-mile journey to reach the mooring. The team has to guide the house down this mighty waterway with a tugboat. It'll be a hazardous trek with fast-flowing water, sunken sandbanks, and boat traffic. Sharon is worried about this perilous plan.
It could tip over. That's a reality. It could. Perhaps it doesn't float as well as we think it might.
Such a grand project comes with an equally grand price tag. Buying the mooring will set Graham and Sharon back $400,000. Building the house, $240,000. Moving the house downriver, $80,000. Bringing the grand total for this ambitious project to $720,000. No one knows if the house will even survive such a dangerous journey. It's a huge sum of money for this family to risk.
In the end, we're gonna have this fantastic view, but in the meantime, we gotta build the place, we gotta get it in the water, which is a huge challenge, we gotta get it down here safely, and we gotta get it tied up to this dock. So in the next few months, it's gonna be a lot of work.
First challenge, work out how to make the huge home float. The team need to design a special foundation that's strong and rigid, but is buoyant. They'll use huge blocks of styrofoam. Steel rods hold the blocks together, while a layer of waterproof concrete will make the base rigid. The frame of the house can be built on top of this floating foundation. This way, the house should be sturdy enough to survive the river journey to its new home. Matt's crew cut 130 cubic meters of styrofoam to size and tie them together with steel rods.
Good.
Graham's taken charge of project managing, so he's thrilled to see work start.
This is an amazing day for me. I've been waiting for months, years for this to happen. Finally, they're pouring the concrete. There's no turning back now.
They pour 60 tons of concrete into the mold. It's all that will stand between the house and the dirty riverbed.
I wanted to have the best float possible. If you don't have a good float, you don't have a good house. I've got a million things going through my mind. In 9 days, the house will be framed. We'll have inspections done. And so it's gonna be a quick process from here. It'll look like a house all of a sudden.
And 2 weeks later, look like a house it does.
Now that you actually see the structure, it's just exhilarating to have it happening.
Graham's particularly pleased with one feature, which will allow the family to soak up the river views.
We're on the second floor of the house now, overlooking the Fraser River, and the bigger the windows we could fit in, the better. So that's why we had to put this steel frame in there. It's exciting. This is a great room. I think it's turned out well.
Don't get too excited, Graham. Your big windows might give you a great view, but they're going to cause one almighty weight problem. The walls around the heavy windows need to be reinforced with steel beams. But all the windows are on one side of the house. Launch now, and he could have a titanic disaster on his hands. So, he must counteract the concentrated weight of the windows by adding concrete to the foundation on the opposite side. If he gets it right, when the house launches, it should quickly right itself and not tip in any direction. They ease the huge windows into place. Thousands of dollars worth of glass hang in the balance. One slip could result in a costly disaster. The windows will provide a great view, but they've resulted in one heavy house.
Whoa.
Looks good.
You never know what they're gonna do until you actually see it, but I like it a lot.
4 weeks into the project, they attach the sidings. The family are hard at work adding the finishing touches.
Keep going. Go more. You're gonna pass it. Good. Keep going higher.
They aim to launch the house in just a week's time. With the whole family helping out, they should be ready soon.
There's a whole lot of work to do still.
But the additional weight of the huge windows is about to cause big problems for the project.
There's no way of getting out of that?
Graham receives bad news. The water at their mooring is too shallow for the heavy house. It will scrape the riverbed.
I just got a call from the Port Authority. Basically, I got the word that there wasn't enough depth at low tide for the house to sit, to stay off the bottom. So what we've agreed to is that we're going to take 6 to 8 feet out of the whole water lot, which is approximately 1,000 cubic meters of soil. And for that, that's going to take about a day, and they say it's going to cost around $20,000.
Now that's gotta hurt.
You know, I could have spent 20 grand on a new boat, which would have been better.
It takes 8 days for Graham to hire a crew and excavate the mooring.
We're hoping that this is the last obstacle, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that that is the last one, and our house will be here soon.
With the new site prepared, the move can finally begin. First challenge, launch the house. But it's been built away from the riverbank. So they must roll it to the water's edge on tracks and special wheels called dollies. IMF engineer Bob is concerned about keeping the dollies in line.
If they're not pinned down correctly, when the wheels are traveling along the tracks, they could hit the butt end of the track and actually slide the track forward. If the dolly hits a track, that means that you have to pick up the building to be able to relocate the track again, right? So it's a bit of a pain in the butt to do that.
Whenever you're ready, Bones.
The 110-ton house is finally on the move and inches forward. Bob's team must keep a constant watch on the dollies. They reset the tracks to line the house up perfectly with the dockside.
As they're lifting it, they're making sure that they're keeping the thing as level as possible without twisting it. If we twist it, of course, we can go ahead and break the back of the float.
The house is poised to make the plunge. The whole family arrives to watch their house take to the water, hopefully like a duck.
Years we've been doing this stuff, for years working on this, and finally it's going to go in the water.
Engineer Bob Field knows the risks of maneuvering such a heavy house.
If a catastrophic crack started, we would have to replace the float. I mean, right, if you took that thing and twisted that thing so the back is broken on that float, you'd have a serious problem, right?
The house is extremely heavy, weighing more than 100 tons. Controlling its launch into the water will be a real challenge. Go too fast, and the house could hit the water too hard. For a controlled launch, Bob must build an additional set of rails to guide the wheels, making sure they are perfectly aligned as they descend into the water. He'll have to anchor the house to heavy trucks. These should ensure the building doesn't run wild as it takes to the water. But these moves don't always go to plan.
I heard a story about this. They put it over the edge, and the tow trucks started to get pulled into the water until they started letting the cord out.
They line up the trucks. Now the precarious launch can begin.
Okay, here's to many happy years on the new houseboat. Get ready. You ready? Watch out. Woo! Very excited. Very, very excited.
As the front dollies reach the water's edge, the pressure mounts.
I'm totally confident in their abilities, but I'm still like, until it actually happens, you never know, right?
The house is now dangling over the water. Not the sort of position Sharon wants to see it in for long.
I didn't realize how steep that angle would be.
The rear dollies inch over the dockside. This is the most perilous part of the process.
When the trailing dollies are over the edge, we have the most load imposed onto the trucks, and that's when we could have a failure.
I don't like all the cracking and banging that's going on.
If the trucks were to break loose, we could have a catastrophic failure where the building could fall off the dollies.
I like the fact that it's still standing like that and not like tipping over more like that though. I haven't seen any cracks in the windows yet, that's good. Look, let's get in touch with the water. Any minute. Oh yeah, nice.
There it goes.
It's in the water.
It's starting to float. It feels good. I want her to come up just a little bit. Oh, there. Yeah, it's coming.
I'll be waiting with bated breath for sure.
They unhook the winch line.
Oh, it's floating now. Look at that. Is it floating flat that way? Yeah, it looks pretty good.
That way's flat, that way's almost right.
Oh yeah, baby! That's what I was looking for. It wasn't coming up, but it's slow. It's so heavy, right? It's amazing. But if you look along the concrete lines, you can see that it's almost perfectly level. It's very flat, so I'm really happy.
Another successful launch. After 25 years and 200 launches, it feels excellent every time.
But the house still faces a 7-mile journey along the fast-flowing Fraser River. Tug Captain Brent Mowat must bring the house under control fast.
I've towed logs, barges, boats, gazebos. I've towed everything.
It might be a floating home, but that doesn't mean it's tough enough to survive a 7-mile river journey.
It's like towing a big block of concrete. They don't respond very well, and they're not very maneuverable. It's slow.
Our friend Brent is hooking up to it, and off he goes. Look at this. He's taking off now. He's a character, that Brent guy, but I trust him. He's really good at what he does.
All Graham and Sharon can do now is watch from the shore as their $240,000 investment sails out of sight. The house faces speedy river traffic and floating debris, all as night begins to fall. The logging industry uses the Fraser River to transport wood to the sawmills downstream. The logs are usually tied together, but sometimes strong currents can loosen them. Often stray logs absorb water, sink, and become stuck in the riverbed. These obstacles, called deadheads, are only just visible above the waterline and are extremely destructive. So Brent must keep a constant lookout, weaving a safe path down this already busy river.
You're trying to maneuver stuff around logs and debris, and they're very unpredictable when you're towing them like that. There's going to be some more maneuvering to be done here tonight. It's not all over with yet.
Time is ticking away fast, and with the family waiting for him, Brent can't afford to let up speed. But darkness is falling rapidly, making it even tougher to spot the deadly deadheads.
Oh, they're all through the river here, and at nighttime you can't see them and everything else.
The fast-moving river traffic isn't helping.
C-SPAN, Greg Renegade, thank you very much for the slow bell there. You gotta ask them to slow down or everything gets wet in there. And then the customer's real mad. So is the insurance guy.
There's still a mile to go, and in the pitch black, Brent will need to keep the house safely on course. The family waits nervously at the mooring.
He just went around the long way. I guess he's worried about his boat being too deep. There's a bit of a sandbar that runs across here.
With a party prepared, Graham is anxious.
Half an hour from extreme scariness, because when it comes here, it's the fact that it's so heavy. As it gets close, you can't stop it once it's coming in.
Steering the 110-ton building into the dock will be a huge challenge. There's no ship's wheel on this house. If Brent mistimes his approach, the house could end up on a collision course. So he must slow down well before he nears the pier. He's relying on guide boats and eagle-eyed spotters to help carefully steer the house into the dock next to its neighbors. 11 p.m. Brent's tug sails out of the shadows.
Look at that thing, it's so close and yet so far.
And slows down just in time. But parking the house at the pier will be an even bigger challenge.
Drive the engine slow, idle on it, that corner. No. Drive the tail end in.
They've waited years for this, and their friends have raced for ringside seats to watch the nerve-wracking finale. But first, Graham needs to pull the huge home safely into the dock. It's a tight squeeze in the pitch black.
Yeah, we gotta come in this way a bit more, you guys. What's happening with that piling over there?
Are we gonna pass it or no?
But is the space just too small for the huge house?
What do we hit?
Yep, got it. Piling.
The roof hits a piling. It doesn't sound good.
All right, let's go check this side out. Oh man, that's close, eh? I didn't really take into account the fact that I had overhangs and I had pilings here. Yeah, that's too close.
But it's not quite as bad as it sounded.
Oh, I think we can fix that. We'll just bang that out. It'll be no problem at all.
There's not far to go now.
It's gonna come this way about 2 feet. Okay, slow it down. That's good. Yeah, that's perfect. Leave it there.
The house finally floats into position. They tie it to the pier with ropes.
It's tight.
It's very tight, yeah. Good job. Thank you. Very nice. Look at that. Everyone, let's go on.
Wow, Brent, thank you. I'm Graham's wife, Sharon.
Hi, Graham.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Come on in, everybody. It's all the best holidays wrapped up into one big present, and even though we have a lot of work ahead of us this month, trying to get it finished so we can move in, it's going to be so exciting, and we're just all keyed up and the adrenaline's flowing, and it's just really fun.
Two months later, Graham and Sharon and their children are finally living on the river in their gorgeous family home.
We've all worked together on this and come together as a team and pulled it off. So we're all pretty proud of ourselves and excited that it's actually working.
There were moments of stress, for sure, but that just gets your adrenaline going.
We're getting to the point where we'll be able to just sit back and relax and enjoy it.
With everything finished, the results speak for themselves. It is stunning.
This just has been more than I could have dreamt of, so it's beautiful.
Just having the expanse to look at is just worth everything that we've gone through. And so it's really kind of my perfect place, really.
Thanks to Graham's determination, the builders, and the tug crew, their floating fortress is now a dream river home. A family on a mission to save their dream mountain home. Will the house and crew survive a dangerous drive along the banks of a raging river?
I don't know if there's anything stopping it from going up the other side.
Through tight, tree-lined trails.
Back up 2 more feet.
And across soft fields.
Clear that big branch. That didn't sound good.
The northern Cascades of Washington. A wild frontier of mountains and rivers. An idyllic place that Gary and Vicki Anderson love visiting with their family.
The Skagit River, it's one of the legendary steelhead streams, so I particularly like the location for spring steelhead fishing. Spending the holidays, especially Christmas, Thanksgiving holidays in the wintertime up in the snow along the river, it was beautiful.
You could go up there and the world would just stop for a while, and you'd have a roaring fire and grandkids running around and playing, and just lots of laughter and just lots of good family time.
In 1995, Gary and Vicki designed and built their Dream River Getaway here, a 3-story wood cabin worth $500,000.
Vicki drew the plans for the cabin, and now it stands as kind of a family dream.
We have an enormous fireplace and beautiful, intricate beams. There's just a lot of character in the house. We have a portrait of Gary that one of his friends painted. For me, It's very personal. It's very much my husband.
But today, their dream home is in imminent danger.
About a year and a half after the cabin was built, the Skagit River changed course, which caused the bank on our side to begin eroding. And now it's dangerously close to falling in the river.
Over 60 feet of riverbank have already been swept away.
We always dreamed that it would stop. We always hoped, prayed that it would stop, but it never did.
The only way to save their prized cabin is to move it to a new site further inland.
The 3.5 acres it's moving to is a gorgeous piece of property with wonderful view of Sauk Mountain.
Buying the new plot will set Gary and Vicki back $80,000. Moving the cabin, $70,000. Building foundations and restoring the house, $100,000. Bringing the grand total to $250,000. A lot to risk on a dangerous move.
Even though it doesn't necessarily make sense financially, we knew we had to move it. It wasn't really a matter of money.
Gary and Vicki's house needs to travel over a mile down a tortuously narrow road to reach the new site. This river rescue is a tough task, perfect for West Coast house truckers Del Davis and Jeff Monroe.
My first impression, this is a beautiful place. I mean, it'd be a shame for a place like this not to be rescued.
The crew check out the route. They're worried the house may be too wide to fit.
That pole's got to go.
Because we don't have any room. We're down to mere inches. Height, width, length, everything. We only got like 20 feet of road, if that, and we're 40 feet wide.
While the team get to work, Gary and Vicki take a final tour of their beloved home.
Hard to imagine that you can move such a big structure without something going wrong.
The cabin has kind of a soul. I mean, we love the cabin, but we know the cabin kind of loves us too. We're doing the right thing, and I know the cabin appreciates it.
The cabin might not appreciate this so much, Gary. They quickly rip off the balcony to reduce the width of the house. But just as they slide support beams underneath the cabin, Del spots something that could bring this move to a halt. The beams will create a strong level platform underneath the house. This will support the walls and chimney as jacks prise the 60-ton cabin off its foundations. But there's a problem. Strong winds are frequent in this region. So to stop the house flying away, many hurricane straps pin the walls to the ground. These are hard to spot, and if they leave any in place while they lift the house, the results could be catastrophic. Del and his team have to double check that all the pins are cut, so the house can break free from its footings.
It's kind of ironic that we're in the moving business to pick homes up, and we've got the big battle of fighting these guys that are tying them down.
There are more hurricane straps than they thought. Freeing this house is going to be one hell of a job.
So there's going to be a good dozen of them in here.
They have to smash away the top of the walls to expose the pins.
If we miss one of those tie-down straps, there could be substantial damage caused to the structure. And we can pull some lumber apart that would cause some damage.
The cabin is so heavy, it takes 8 heavy-duty jacks to prise it free from its foundation. The team did a good job cutting the hurricane straps, and the cabin rises smoothly. Now Del faces an even bigger challenge. Roll the house away from the crumbling cliff edge. Their cabin has been jacked up, but now it needs to be pushed up a steep slope. The house sits much lower than the road and must climb a steep hill to reach it. If they try towing the house up the slope on wheels, the extra weight at the back of the house could be too much. So Dell has another idea. Jack the house up 6 feet so it's the same level as the road. Then slide it to the street on steel beams. This won't be easy. It's high off the ground and a long way to the road. But once there, they can start the journey through the thick forest.
We do have a pretty gnarly slope there we're contending with. If we get tipping too far over on that heavy side, then our center of gravity goes extremely high and we're right there at a balance point, which gets rather dangerous.
The team raise the house and position slide beams underneath. If they're not perfectly level, the house could topple.
All right. Where do we need to be? You want me to fine tune anything? No, we're good. Now we're gonna put them in.
They roll skates under the house. This is gonna be the world's biggest slip and slide.
Your guides should be all set.
Homeowners Gary and Vicky come to watch. They're nervous.
I don't know what to think. It's up in the air, it's gotta go someplace now. I just hope it goes this way and not that way. Obviously, if it's level, it should roll the way they want it to go, but I don't know that there's anything stopping it from going out the other side.
With the beams and skates in place, they're ready to go.
We'll grab it with the machine and we'll roll it off here.
With the house safely set up to roll, Dell hands the start button to Vicky. She's gonna get the honor of pressing go on her own rescue roll.
Okay, I'm gonna do it on 3. 1, 2,
Oh, go ahead.
3.
You're all right, dear. Here it comes. It's coming right at you, Vicky.
The cabin slowly inches away from the river.
Look at that sucker!
That was unbelievable. I just can't believe what I just saw. That was nuts. Actually, I would have been much happier if Dell would have done it himself instead of having to rely on a woman to move the house. But I totally understand that.
This was safe. Everything worked good. And the homeowner got to play with the toys.
The crew hook up the wheels. Tomorrow they face their biggest challenge, the road trip. The next morning in the Cascade Mountains, it's the calm before the storm of the big move day. The team make their final checks and hook the cabin to 2 tow trucks. A remote control helps Jeff steer the wheels under the house. But a major obstacle stops them in their tracks.
We gotta get around that power pole up the hill.
The house might be ready to roll, but the road is blocked by a power pole. If the cabin hits it as they try to squeeze past, the load could slip. To get around the pole, the team has to drag the cabin across a field. To make such a tight turn, the truck must go ahead of the house and winch it in stages. Every few feet, Jeff will have to turn around the wheels underneath the house. A slow and laborious operation.
There it goes.
Yikes. Oh my gosh. I guess I feel more emotional than I thought.
It's moving the right direction, away from the river, not in the river.
As the cabin inches onto the field, the wheels sink into a bed of shrubs.
We'll have to survey the damage, see if we have something we need to fix, or if we're going to be buying some new trees.
Saving these trees is the least of their worries.
It's a pretty harsh turn to do. We've got to actually loop around at 180 degree, thereabouts, and be back in line for the main road.
Halfway around the pole, an electrical wire stops progress.
Watch the bite on that wire. Power company's coming back in. They're going to take this bottom neutral wire out of it.
They swiftly remove the wire and roll the cabin out of the field.
Looking good. They cleared the telephone pole. They had probably 2 feet.
One dangerous dodge down. But now the crew face an even trickier test. A tight tree-lined trek on a 20-foot wide road. They have to cut the trees back as far as possible. But weaving the house through the branches will take time. There's a risk that at such slow speeds, the truck could stall, jolting the house, sending it on a collision course. So the team will have to send the truck ahead and run a winch line back to the cabin. Pulling the house like this will give them the control they need to steer it through the branches with pinpoint accuracy.
We're down to 1/2 and 1/4 inch areas between great big massive tree limbs here to fit through and not do any damage to our metal roof that we have here.
It's tighter than they thought. One wrong move could rip the roof to shreds.
When I see it sandwiched between these huge trees and it's got an inch to spare, all of a sudden it looks enormous.
Come to you, John?
There's guys hollering and yelling back and forth to each other, trying to steal an inch or 2 here and there from each other. Man, you should see the other side. You're past the breaking point now. There's nothing you can go. Just go. Everything's going in the right direction for us.
But in house moving, things never quite go to plan.
Oh! Clear that branch. That didn't sound good.
The tall house is hemmed in by low-hanging branches. The roof could be torn apart if they keep going.
How are you going to reach it? It's up there. Oh, that's an ugly one.
It's not going to fit.
It doesn't look like it's going to fit.
I said it looks like a great big square peg trying to go through a round hole.
There's no way forward. Dell has no choice but to go back the way he came.
We don't like to back up. It's opposite direction of where we want to go, but sometimes you got to do it to get out of the sticklers that you get into.
Backing up a 60-ton house down a narrow lane is their worst nightmare. The crew gingerly kick her into reverse.
Come on. Back up 2 more feet.
Do it. Just do it.
The house lurches forward again. This will be the moment of truth.
You're right there. You got daylight on it. Now.
It's not going to be fast enough. Lean it over.
It's a little bit snug. But if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
Rubbed both sides. Back and front. Just enough.
With the trees behind them, the team must pick up the pace.
It's 1/10 of a mile to the intersection at the road that we're going, and it's the longest 10th I've done in a while.
They reach the main road, but there's still a long way to go.
We're done winching. We're going to hook the pull truck on to go up the street. Should be there in an hour and a half.
Dell takes charge of driving this precious load. It's a tough job keeping the heavy house on track.
These guys are yelling at me. They said I'm drifting around, which I don't usually do too much.
Well, he's weaving all over the road. We're trying to keep him straight, and yeah. Just got to keep paying attention to him hitting us. Is that going to clear? Take me up, 2 inches. Up, Chad, up. That's enough.
But these forest-lined roads are about to look like a walk in the park.
I asked Dell if that was the hard part, because I couldn't imagine it being any harder than that. And he said that was just the warm-up, that the hard part's still to come.
But the team face sandy soil and a steep slope before their work is done. Winch trucks drag the house across the field. To reach the basement hole, Dell must drive the 60-ton house down a steep, sandy ramp. This won't be easy. If he drives too fast, the weight of the house behind the truck can cause it to slip and jackknife. For more control, the team will bring in a second truck. This will hold the house steady, preventing it from slipping forward as they descend the slope. As long as the ramp doesn't fall apart, the house should arrive in one piece.
Yeah, anytime you're ready. Easy, easy. Bring it around.
Suddenly, the wheels start sinking into the dirt.
You got it. Hold up. Oh! Oh!
Well, the ground is extremely soft up in this rampway. It's like opening a bag of flour up and trying to drive in over 2-3 feet deep of it. It's pretty powdery stuff, so.
They need to act fast to stop the 60-ton cabin sinking any further.
There we go. Sweet.
The cabin finally reaches the drop zone, where it will wait until the basement is built underneath. It's been an emotional journey for Vicki and Gary.
It was surprisingly emotional. I knew I would feel a sense of relief, but I don't think I realized how much it meant to me to save the cabin.
Right now is the first time in over 2 years that it's been out of harm's way.
Oh yeah, that looks like it's perfect there. I would say that today was
Pressure's off.
right up there with one of my life's most memorable moments. I almost feel the love coming back from the cabin again. It's like I can feel the appreciation.
Cabin knows it's been saved, and it's very happy with us today.
Thanks to the move team, this cabin has been saved from the raging river and finally stands high and dry as Gary and Vicki's dream family getaway.
I love the river, and I can still love the river. I just don't need to love it running through my house. All that's really left is to lower the cabin on the foundation, hook up the electricity and the plumbing, and it will be pretty much done.
Sort of fun now that the house is moved to be able to look around and get to know the land.
Want a blackberry?
Cheers.
2 months after their luxury cabin arrives, Gary and Vicki can finally enjoy their home's new lease of life in safety.
We're anxious to get back in there and
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Not worry about it.
know that the cabin is on safe ground forevermore.